We have the easiest chicken recipes you are ever going to see because do you know what? Sometimes when you buy that rotisserie chicken at the grocery store and you have leftovers, you're like, what am I going to do with them?
Or sometimes, like us today, you're doing a live cooking class, and when you went to do your prep for the cooking class, you had these giant boxes of frozen chicken, and you were like, rather than just cook up the amount that I'm going to actually need, I'm going to cook up the whole 2 boxes because then it gets it out of my freezer.
Well, and because the last time we did it, we underestimated and we were like, then we were having to cook more. So it was just safer to have more than not enough. And there was a lot more.
I think as a general rule, more is better than not enough. But in this particular case, it was considerably more. Therefore, we invented one new recipe for this. And we also used some of our like tried and true recipes, just quickly looked and like, what can I make with this? So since we had to do that for ourselves, we figured we would share this with you.
We love to share our mistakes with you because, well, you seem to appreciate it. Honestly, your favorite thing about us is you guys seem so real. Well, because we're not really good at faking much, so.
Totally. We are nothing if not real.
We are very real.
So the first thing that I'm going to share with you is actually this new invented recipe. And okay, it worked out so well that I have to tell you, this just happened. We just made this, froze it to make sure it freezes, thaws, and cooks up well. And the next day, I made another one and put it in the freezer because it was
and you liked it that much?
I liked it that much. It was, and my family liked it that much. And actually, what really happened, which made me make more, is that not everyone even got to try it because it's more of like a 4-serving recipe and we have a large family. And you never really know how it's going to be. So I'm just going to make the 4-serving one at first and then maybe double it in the future. But anyway, not everyone even got to try it. And some people were like, but that smelled really good. And how come you didn't wait for me? And they were at work. It wasn't my fault. So this is the 1-pot Marry Me Chicken Orzo pasta. We've never done a recipe before, a freezer meal recipe using Orzo. And after the success of this one, I can say that there will be more Orzo recipes coming to a video near you.
Now, if you are not familiar with Orzo, Orzo is a teeny tiny pasta that makes the small shells look massive. It's rice-sized. It looks like rice. You might mistake it for rice. It is super cute. And it is like something that if you wanted to eat 1,000 of something, Orzo is a good option.
It also is something that if you have a littler one, it's an easier pasta for them to eat because as the parent, you don't have to cut up like penne. I'm getting pretty tired of cutting penne.
Oh yes, toddler in the house. That is true.
So, with the Orzo, that wasn't an issue. Okay, so into your large freezer bag, you're gonna add your cooked cube chicken, some minced garlic. We like to use our garlic from a jar, some sliced sun-dried tomatoes, paprika, oregano, pepper, some chicken broth, and heavy cream. Then in a medium-sized, quart-sized freezer bag, you're gonna add a little bit of shredded Parmesan cheese. You're gonna get the air out of both of those bags because you don't wanna have freezer burn. And then you're gonna staple the bags together above the seam and get them into your freezer. On the day you go to make this, you're gonna thaw the bags and you're gonna dump the contents of your large freezer bag into a stovetop pot. Once you bring that to a boil, you're gonna stir in 1 cup of that cute little Orzo pasta. Then you're gonna reduce the heat and simmer it. You're gonna cook it for like 12 to 14 minutes. You're gonna stir it fairly often. And you wanna make sure that that Orzo is soft and most of the liquid is absorbed. It just cooks up right in there. And then you're gonna stir in your Parmesan cheese, allow that to melt and serve it. And if your family is anything like mine, it will be gone in minutes.
I already know that this is gonna be a hit at my house because my son loves Marry Me Chicken, which we have had as a freezer meal for a long time. He will request it And when she told me that we were going to make a Marry Me chicken orzo pasta one pot, I'm like, well, have I got the test kitchen for you? It will definitely pass at my house. So I haven't had it yet. I know it'll be great, and I'm really looking forward to trying it. Now, what could be better than chicken Parmesan? Because really, there isn't a whole lot better than chicken Parmesan. It is a wonderfully tasty dish. The drawback is it's actually a lot of work to prepare.
It is a lot of work. We have a freezer meal recipe of it.
We do.
It's a lot of work.
And when we go to make it, we kind of go crazy and make a lot of it because it is a lot of work. And we say this about freezer meals a lot. If you're going to do it once, do it 5 times or do it 8 times, and then make a bunch of it, because you might not make that one again for a very long time. And I love having chicken Parmesan in the freezer, but sometimes you want it a little more often and you don't want all the work. So here's our solution. It is lazy chicken Parmesan casserole. And again, it just starts out with the cooked chicken, so it is already easier. In your large freezer bag, you're going to add your cooked cube chicken. You're going to add in your pasta sauce. Now, we love to use red sauce with this because red sauce is the best. It is a club exclusive recipe. You must be a part of the Freezer Meals 101 Club to get it, but it's worth it just for the red sauce.
The depths of flavor. I know, we
I know.
say that, but it's true.
But you can do it with pasta sauce, and that's totally okay. So you're going to add that, and then you're going to take all the excess air out of that bag and seal it up. Next, you're going to take a medium-sized freezer bag and you're going to add in Parmesan cheese and mozzarella cheese, all shredded, grated, mix it around in there, and that is your cheese blend. Seal that bag up. Your last bag, another quart-size bag, that's the medium size, you're going to add some panko breadcrumbs. You're going to add in a little splash of olive oil and some Italian seasoning and a bit of salt to taste. So mix that around in there. So now you have seasoned panko breadcrumbs. Seal that guy up. Now what we do is we staple these together so that they all stay together in the freezer, and when you need them, you can just take them out and they're all there together. It is a really great way to make freezer meals. We recommend it. We also recommend that you remove the staples before you try to open the bags, because sometimes if it falls in, we have a problem on our hands.
Nobody wants to go in with a magnet, which we have had someone have to do.
Yeah.
Try to find your staples in your food.
So here's your disclaimer. Here's your warning. Do not
Eat staples.
Please remove pants before ironing. So on the day that you go to cook this, you're going to allow it to thaw. You're going to have your nice casserole dish there. Add your chicken to it. You're going to sprinkle the cheese on it, and then you're going to sprinkle those breadcrumbs right on top. It is going to be just like chicken Parmesan, but it's in a casserole. So you're going to cook that in your oven. You're going to serve this with pasta or whatever you would want to make it with. Sometimes we recommend that maybe you have an extra bag of the red sauce on hand, because if you're making it with pasta, you know, sometimes there's enough sauce with this, but sometimes you want it really saucy, and then you can add more sauce with your pasta.
I find for this, I definitely need the extra bag of red sauce. It's just, you know, one of the medium quart-size bags, but then you can exactly have it on top of the pasta. This is also one that works really well in individual portions, but when you do that, you just layer it
Right.
in your little
Tray.
oven-safe tray or microwave-safe tray, and then it's ready to cook up in that individual portion.
Totally. And did you know, if you're doing individual portions, you can freeze pasta. If you're going to freeze pasta, we want you to undercook it by a couple of minutes, because then later on, after it thaws and you go to reheat it, it's heating again, right? It might go mushy on you. So to prevent it from going mushy, you just have to undercook it a little bit, and then it freezes nicely when you're making your individual meals. If you need to have gluten-free pasta, cook it on the day of. Gluten-free pasta, it falls apart at the best of times when you're cooking it. You can't freeze it. It just doesn't work very well.
You know, as much as we're about flavor, we also care about texture.
Yeah, right?
So there is like a no mushy freezer meals here.
No mushy freezer meals.
This next recipe is one that I love to take with me on vacation. I always take it with me, whether we're going in the winter to go skiing or in the summer. Even I have taken this camping with me every year that I've ever gone camping, I think.
Because it's that good.
It's that
And you
good.
just love it that much.
I love it, and it feels like a treat to me. And this is our buffalo chicken quesadillas. They are so good.
Now we have a lot of different kinds of quesadillas.
Yes, we do.
Like in some outrageous ones like cheeseburger quesadillas, which is totally great quesadillas.
And spinach and artichoke.
Oh, that's the primo quesadilla.
Uh-huh.
And now that we have said that out loud, I need to go make that because it's summer and I need to eat that.
It's got all those good fresh
It's so
flavors.
good.
Yeah.
But the buffalo chicken quesadilla warms you from the inside out. And everything that you
Awesome.
love about buffalo chicken, you can have it in a quesadilla.
So for these, you're going to make them a little tiny bit differently because you can shred or cube your chicken, and you're just going to mix your shredded chicken with some Frank's Red Hot. And once that is mixed together in a bowl, then you're going to lay out some flour tortillas. And on half of the flour tortilla, you're gonna sprinkle some shredded cheese. You can use like a cheddar or a Tex-Mex blend or habanero cheese blend or Monterey Jack cheese, whatever kind of is your favorite to go along with these types of flavors. Then you're going to sprinkle some diced purple onion, some diced red pepper, some sliced and halved jalapenos, and your chicken. Then you're gonna fold over those flour tortillas, and here's a really important step. You're gonna lay this in a single layer on a baking sheet, and you're gonna freeze them flat. You wanna wait until they are completely, fully frozen before you transfer them into your freezer bag. Otherwise, those flour tortillas are gonna stick together and actually peel when you try to separate these. Nobody wants that. So we always just do it this way, and it works beautifully because then you can take out one, you can take out two, you can take out the whole thing. If you're taking out, 4 or more at a time, then we recommend that you bake them in the oven on a baking sheet. If you're taking out 1 or 2 at a time, then you can easily do them in a skillet, just flipping halfway through. This is a recipe that can be cooked from frozen, or you can thaw it. I just cook mine from frozen because it's faster and I don't really have to think about anything and just pull them right out, cook them up. And then I like to serve mine with some fresh guacamole.
Oh yeah.
But you could also do salsa or sour cream or hot sauce. Anyway, this is a fabulous one.
Who knew that we could talk for so long about a quesadilla?
Well, we can talk over a really long time
We
about
can.
anything.
I think that's so funny because I'm like, there is a lot going on that you can do with a quesadilla. I kind of love that. I love your brain.
And quesadillas, while I usually eat mine for lunch, they also make a great appetizer. And we usually have a lot of appetizers in our freezers because it's super handy, especially for the holidays. But even like if you get invited to a potluck and you have to bring something, or if you're having a movie night at home, if you have friends stop by unexpectedly, I love having appetizers that I can cook up. It makes it so much easier to entertain. And that brings me to a little story that I have.
Oh yeah, I know what you're gonna say.
Okay, so Christy had a birthday not that long ago. And the night before her birthday, my husband and I and Christy and her husband were sitting in my hot tub. It was a beautiful night.
It was a beautiful night, and the mosquitoes weren't bad yet.
Totally
It was
not.
so perfect.
And then we were talking about so what are you doing for your birthday tomorrow? And she's like, well, I think I might meet up with some friends and, go and watch this hockey game But I'm like, no, the hockey game is the next night.
I was wrong, yeah.
It's not that night. So then it's like, oh, I
Well,
guess
now I have no plans.
So I was like, this is seriously after dinner already. So I don't know what time, but it's like the night before. And I'm like, well, we can have a party here.
If I threw something together, would you want to come? And I'm like, sure. And so on our way home, which was 2 doors down, I texted 3 people because that's all I had time for. And you had some friends that were set up to come. It was too short notice. None of my friends, the other friends that came, they're mutual friends. And then anybody else I invited, they couldn't come because it was too short notice. But the next night we showed up and there was food everywhere.
I had this super important appointment with my daughter the next day, and Christy and I had gone for lunch.
She took me for lunch for my birthday.
But it was far. Like, okay, so this story's about to get long, but I do promise we're going to get to more recipes, and it's sort of relevant to food.
We have to back it up.
We used to go to this Thai restaurant. It was called the Thai Orchid. It was in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. So good. It like looks. It was
a hole in the wall.
Lodge. Total hole in the wall. The best food ever. And then it wasn't quite as good. It had new owners, and it wasn't as good. It got shut down for health violations.
There was health stuff, and we're like, we are never going to get to eat that tom yum soup again, or tom yum, I mean, and we are never going to get to eat the cashew chicken again, or the pad chan. Like, we had their menu memorized. It was just so good.
And it's one of those places, you know how sometimes you like to try a new restaurant, but sometimes you just want like a sure thing. Like something that you know 100% you're gonna love, and it's comfort food, and it's like, and it just hits the spot, and it's the same every time. And it's been years and years and years, and we've tried lots of other Thai places. For the soup, my husband's homemade tom yum that he learned how to cook in Thailand, like, comes the closest for sure, but no restaurant, and that takes forever because he makes the paste, the porter and pestle, and we have to go to a specialty store to buy the ingredients. So we don't do that often, like maybe once a year, if that. And we've never found a restaurant that comes close.
No.
You've tried.
We've tried.
We've tried together.
So I heard a rumor that the family that owned the Thai Orchid now owned a restaurant in the West End, and so I asked around about it in certain circles, and somebody said, yes, it's them. And I'm like, okay, we're going to do this. So that's where Charlotte took me. We had to go way to the West End.
I'm sure it was like over 40 minutes each way at least.
Yeah, like we live outside the city in a rural area that's on the other side, like it's on the east side. So like, where? Woo! But we go in and nothing is familiar on the menu. Which, I mean, if you start a new restaurant, you can have a new menu, that's okay, but like not one thing was the same.
And there were things that were indicators once the food arrived that this was just not the same family.
No. And so we ate it, and it was good. It wasn't right home about.
It was not drive 40 minutes each way for
it wasn't
food.
Our family.
But we had fun.
If you're watching this and you know the family that used to own the Thai Orchid and restaurant, where are you? Because we need to find you.
Because you were the best. So we had a good lunch.
It was very nice.
But, you know, it took a chunk.
Right.
And then I had this really important appointment for medical thing for one of my daughters. So that ended up taking like hours longer than I was expecting. We're driving home, and it's like, Christy and her husband are going to be arriving like in about half an hour.
She texted me, it's like, can I push it back half an hour? And I'm like, yeah, no problem.
So I get home, and we managed to put out, Christy brought the dessert. So I get a caveat for that. But my daughter helped me, and we managed to put on a spread. Like, we had these honey sriracha meatballs that were a newish freezer meal that we had been trying, and now we can say...
Definitely.
It's more of a cocktail meatball, though, too sweet for a dinner one. Really good flavors.
Jalapeno popper dip, which is outrageously good, and I got to bring home the leftovers.
I'm gonna pop a video right up here, because that is the video where I invented the chicken jalapeno popper dip, and it also uses cooked chicken, and this video is all for rotisserie chicken meals, so kind of similar to what we're doing today if you want more cooked chicken ideas. But that was a winner.
It was a total winner.
We did bacon wrapped blue cheese stuffed dates that were from the freezer. We had...
There were everything bagel bites, but those were store-bought. A few cheese and crackers. There was...
Veggie tray. I'm trying to think. There was another freezer thing. I don't know. It was a few weeks ago. But it was fun.
We were full, and it was delicious, and it was a lot of fun. And we played games, and we just had a really nice evening. And it was just kind of impromptu thrown together, and it wouldn't have happened without freezer meals, because
I wouldn't even have offered it
if she didn't have those in there to offer that, knowing she had the appointment, knowing that we were going for lunch, to throw that together is outrageous, really. And so when you have it in the freezer, you can just do it, right?
I think I probably fed about 10 of us between like
Oh, because my kids showed up,
yeah.
your kids, well, one of mine came, but your kids
Yeah.
were here, some of them. So,
All
yeah.
with just freezer meals. And what did you bring for dessert? It's like a cake.
I brought an angel food cake and a lemon curd whip frosting that you can drizzle on. Like it was lovely.
It's very nice and fresh and like summery.
Yeah.
It was, and we had a really nice time.
We did. It was good. And we hadn't seen that other couple for a long time. They're in our supper club. And our supper club has been on hiatus because we have an opening and we haven't decided what to do. So we haven't gone forward yet. So
we're not sure, like, do we audition other couples? One of the couples is moving to Texas. So, you know, they can not make the commute to come and eat with us once a month.
That's right.
But we're just debating.
Or do we bring in and have like we're going to invite this couple this time and they get to pick a couple the next time? Because we like it to be 4. And now we're down to 3 couples. And so I'm sure we can find a way.
Yeah.
Or we'll just go ahead with the 6 of us.
Do we all agree on which couple? But we don't all know the same people. So it's one of these things. You can let us know in the comments how you think we should proceed.
How we should proceed with our supper club.
Because we miss it.
We do.
And it was a great way also to like try new recipes, experiment, do theme nights, like whatever it was.
Yeah, it was a great time.
Anyway, okay, back to cooked chicken recipes.
Back to reality. Here we go.
This is one that I have not made for supper club ever, but it is one that is in my top meals of all time.
Yes, and it is delightful. It is chicken in a mango cream sauce. It is super easy to put together. In your large freezer bag, you're going to add your cooked cube chicken. You're going to add in some purple onion that's been thinly sliced, some sliced red pepper, some minced garlic from a jar, some Madras curry paste, some flour, chicken broth, some mango tangerine juice, or just mango juice if you can find it, but here that's how it comes. Some evaporated milk, some mango chutney, some red pepper flakes, and that's it. You're going to mix this around right in the bag. You're going to remove that excess air and lay it flat, seal it, and freeze it. This is a nice one because it is nice and thin. So when you go to defrost it, it thaws quickly. If you forget to take something out and need to defrost it quickly, throw it in a sink of some lukewarm water, 20 minutes, and that will be enough for it to be thawed enough for you to get cooking with it without there being in a danger zone for being in the wrong temperature. So it's a quick way to heat up because it's mostly already cooked. You really are just getting those onions softened and then this is ready to go. You want to serve this on pasta, like we like to do it on spaghetti noodles. In a pinch, I've done other kinds of pasta. Actually, this wouldn't be bad with the orzo.
No, it wouldn't.
Wouldn't that be good?
That would be good, actually, now that you say that, and then I wouldn't have to cut noodles.
See? Orzo's going to be
revolutionary.
There's going to be a lot of macaroni and orzo happening in this house in the next couple of years. I can see it already. And so then that's it. It is a fast fry up. This is ready in 10, 15 minutes max. It's going to take longer to cook your pasta than it is going to be to cook this.
Yes,
and it's a whole meal because you have your vegetables in there, you have your protein, and you're going to serve it on your starch. And it's...
When you were talking about noodle types, I was thinking, I've never tried it, but I think this would go well on zucchini noodles.
Oh, it would totally go nice on zucchini noodles.
So if you are watching your carbs or if you're gluten-free, you could do that. And I think everything else in here, except, I mean, it does have flour for the thickener, but if you use like a tapioca flour or something that you use as a thickener, you could just sub that out. And yes.
Yeah, I think you could. It would be really good.
So if you find yourself with a lot of cooked chicken and you're looking for recipes beyond what we've shared here, and maybe you've even checked out that rotisserie chicken video and you're like, but I have even more cooked chicken than that.
I'm drowning in cooked chicken.
Like, I don't know, but this could happen, you know, because sometimes you get a sale, you know. Then one of the suggestions that we have for you is you can go into the Freezer Meals 101 Club and you can click on the chicken filter, and then in the keyword box, you can type the word pre-cooked. And then it's gonna filter all the recipes that used cooked chicken. Now, the reason that that filter is so awesome, the pre-cooked one, is not only for times like this, but this also indicates that these are really easy recipes to split if you are doing individual portions. So if you are cooking for one, or if you're making things to take for lunches with you, or you're sending lunches with someone and there's a microwave available, then what you can do is anything that is, chicken and pre-cooked in the club just portions out so nicely into individual portions. Like I can think off the top of my head, we've got like a chicken asparagus rice bag, we've got chicken fried rice, we've got the chicken noodle casserole, we've got the Madras curry chicken. I'm just spitballing here, but you can go to those filters and find even more. But all of those are ones that you can just easily cook. Like I said, split them into individual portions. Or of course, if you're doing it for a family, they're meals that on the day of cook up so quickly, like you were saying with the chicken and mango cream sauce.
Right.
Ready in minutes.
Ready in minutes. Just cook it long enough really till your onions are nice and tender and you're good to go.
So this next recipe is one that actually, I'm excited that we're including it in this video because we ate this last night.
Oh, nice.
It's fresh in my mind. It's one that we make over and over and over again because everybody likes it. And so this is our one pot chicken and mushroom pasta. Funny enough though, 2 of my kids don't like mushrooms and well, 3 of my kids don't like mushrooms actually, but 2 of them will eat this.
Like my son does not eat mushrooms, will eat ground beef stroganoff with mushroom soup and mushrooms in it.
And loves it.
Funny.
Yeah, so I don't know what it is about this recipe. I don't know if it's magic. Now, my other daughter, they're not magic mushrooms.
Oh.
Just want to be clear on that.
That's why everybody loves it.
My other daughter that doesn't eat mushrooms has never tried this because she's picky to the point of she won't even eat a dish where things might have touched things that she won't eat, right? So it's just a different level of levels of pickiness.
There is levels of pickiness.
So this one though, the non-mushroom eating kids eat this, and I didn't know until last night that the toddler would eat mushrooms.
The toddler eats, he does today or last night.
I know.
But in a week you try this again and he will not eat the mushrooms.
100%, he's in that phase, but he wouldn't eat the onions in this last night. So, we're like,
when you're done this, you have to tell them about the raisins.
Okay,
maybe before the, it's funny.
When I'm done this recipe, I'm gonna tell you about the raisins. It's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. Okay, so to make the one pot chicken and mushroom pasta without magic mushrooms.
Or raisins.
Right. Into your large freezer bag, you're going to add your cooked cubed chicken, some sliced mushrooms, some thinly sliced purple onion, minced garlic, some heavy cream, the seasoning thyme, not the kind of thyme that you have on your watch, paprika, salt and pepper, and then you're gonna squish that all together in your bag and get out your excess air and seal it. And then in a medium-sized bag, you're gonna add a cup of Parmesan cheese that's shredded. You're gonna get the air out of that, and you're gonna staple those bags together above the seam. And then on the day you go to serve this, you're going to add the contents of your large freezer bag into a large stovetop pot. Then you're gonna add 4 cups of chicken broth. Now, if you wanted to, you could totally add the chicken broth in at the time that you're assembling the freezer meal. We just find that then it's a much thicker bag, takes up more space in your freezer, and you can keep the chicken broth in your pantry. So, it's up to you which way you wanna do that, but we usually add it on the day of. Then you're gonna bring this to a boil and you're gonna stir in some pasta. And if you want, you can also stir in some fresh spinach. I didn't have spinach last night, so I didn't stir the spinach in, but either way, it's good. And if you have kids or people in your family or you who will eat spinach, then go ahead and stir that in. When the pasta is done and most of your liquid is absorbed, then you want to stir in your Parmesan cheese. And it's at that point that you add your spinach. And once that cheese is melted and the spinach is wilted, that's it. That's all. You serve it. And, you know, you too can pick out the onions if you need to. But,
Or the mushrooms.
or the mushrooms or whatever. But honestly, this is a winner dish.
It really is. And it was kind of an invention.
Yeah, it was, because one of our mega session freezer
it was the
meals-
mushroom math.
Yes.
But I bought way too many mushrooms, and
I can't remember.
We needed 16 cups.
Okay, I'm gonna pop a link up there.
I think it was the 156.
I'll hope that it's the right mega session. It might
Yeah.
not be, but it'll be fun to watch anyway. But yes.
I needed a lot of mushrooms, and I was at Costco, and I'm like, well, this will make, X amount of cups, but that's not enough. And I bought like 4 of the big Costco size of mushrooms.
You panicked.
I might have panic bought mushrooms. Like we panic cooked chicken,
Yes.
so I'm not the only one that's guilty of it.
No.
And so we just had to get inventive. And that time we must have had lots of chicken left over as well too, because we had mushroom and chicken, and we were in our one pot phase. Mm-hmm. My goodness, if you are in the club and you want like no dishes, you look for sheet pans and you look for one pots, and those are the best.
Type those into the keyword search and just whoosh.
Yes.
Less dishes. We should just have a thing that says
Less dishes.
Put that in the keyword. Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to tell my raisin
Oh
story.
my goodness.
So I told Christy this story already, so she's going to have to listen to it again. But we are going to be going on a road trip, and if you've ever traveled with small children in a vehicle for 7 hours each way, that you're going to have to bring a lot of snacks. So I've been thinking about snacks and trying to organize and, whatever. But I thought, when my older kids were younger, they liked those little boxes of raisins. You know what I'm talking about, right? The tiny little boxes of raisins. Oh, we're going to get them.
Actually, I'm going to bring these too because this is funny. Okay, go on. Okay, so the little boxes of raisins, you know what we're talking about.
Yes,
There we
and
go.
then, do you want to grab the yogurt covered ones? Okay, so I bought him the little raisin boxes, but I also saw on impulse, there were yogurt covered raisins, but little boxes of them.
And yogurt covered raisins are very healthy because they have the yogurt and they have the raisins. Who wouldn't love that?
So just testing before I put like a whole vehicle full of, snacks, or a whole vehicle full of little mini raisin boxes. Can you just imagine my vehicle full of, anyway.
Well, you're gonna have these. And do you know what my favorite part about this is? She's like, I have a lot of them because he's just gonna dump them anyway. So he has just a little bit in each one.
It's gonna end up on the floor of the vehicle, right? So might as well have less.
That was the funniest part. Anyway, it gets funnier.
So then we test him on the raisins. We try, we take one, and he will not get it close to his mouth. He won't even taste it. He won't lick it, nothing.
Will he eat a grape? Have you tried them on grapes?
No. I've not tried grapes yet because of the whole choking hazard business, and I know you can cut them in half and whatever. But then my husband ate one, so that, he was, and my husband doesn't really like raisins, but he was like, ate one and he was like, yummy, see? And then the little guy is like, he took one and he's like, and we're like, this is your turn. And he's like, nope, and gave it to my husband. Your turn, right? So whatever, he would not touch a raisin, wouldn't let it enter his mouth cavity. We showed him the yogurt covered raisin boxes. We open it, and as soon as he sees it, candy. So that's, he's got an impression that because it looks kind of fake looking, it's candy. So sure enough, he pops that in his mouth, but here's the really funny part. He just eats all the yogurt bit. He chews all around like a little rabbit or something. I don't know, just chipmunk. I don't know what chews little
Chipmunks
bits,
and squirrels
right?
do it. Yes.
Squirrels, and he eats all the way around, everywhere. Eats the yogurt off, and then wants my husband to eat the raisin.
And so my question was, did he do it? No.
No. But anyway, that's my raisin story. My husband will not be eating pre-chewed yogurt-covered, no longer yogurt-covered raisins. But I think that in the vehicle, we're going to end up on the floor with a whole bunch of like raisins that used to be yogurt-covered that are no longer yogurt-covered.
No,
that
you
he's
might.
taken the time to like eat all the way around and then drops.
That's
the
really
raisin.
funny.
Anyway, we'll see how it's going to go because, oh my goodness. Yeah. I'm going to pop a video here. This video may or may not happen. I'm going to pop a video here to like how it went on the trip and how the packing went and the food that we ate and the way that you can do freezer meals for a trip like this.
And maybe an update on whether he ever ate the yogurt covered raisin.
Yes, an update on if we could get him to actually chew a raisin or taste it. Like, anyway, he's very particular.
I didn't like raisins in the big bag, but I would eat these by the box full. Isn't that funny? As a little kid. I like raisins now, but apparently I liked them then too, but I just liked the box. And I didn't even super love them. I just loved the tiny box.
I mean, we can all admit, right? Like,
Yeah.
this is a really cute box. Like, I think maybe they should put, like, what do adults not like to eat? Like, vitamins?
I
or
guess.
Like, you know, I don't know. Whatever, prunes, like... I
Same
think
diff.
they should do like these for adults. Little boxes
Yeah.
of things that we are less likely to eat,
But-
but that are good for us. And then we would all be going around eating from our
Little bran muffins.
little teeny tiny little bran muffins.
Sometimes you see those YouTube videos where they make the teeny tiny little things and they'll make a little burger and a little soda and the little fries. Little tiny muffins.
Tiny muffins in here because it makes it even more fun. If it's mini, plus it's inside a mini
A
box.
cute box? Of course. We are full of ideas. We're full of something today.
We have gone off on a few tangents. We just travel on the tangents and we bring you along with us if you're willing to go.
It's like a current. We just go where the current goes. Thank you so much for watching with us today, and I hopefully you learned some stuff about recipes and maybe you had a laugh too, because I know we did.
Yes, it has been fun. Christy and I always love hanging out together and hanging out with you. So if you've got cooked chicken recipes, we've got you covered. If you're looking for toddler snack ideas, I guess we've got you covered on that too. And
Not that they're successful, but
we try. But we did get him to eat the one pot chicken and mushroom
Who
pasta.
knew?
And
Isn't
he
that
ate the
funny?
mushrooms in it, which again, he may not do ever again, but he did this time.
I thought of another reason why you might be drowning in chicken.
Oh.
Your freezer quits.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That truly happens.
If you don't have an alarm for your freezer, we recommend that you do, especially when you have your made meals in there. But, you know, when you get the right sale and you just cram your freezer full of ground beef or chicken or whatever, or you buy like a half a cow, you split it with the neighbor, you know, do yourself a favor and get a freezer alarm.
You can find them in our Amazon store. The link for that is below. You can find all kinds of things in there that might be helpful for your freezer cooking, but a freezer alarm, where we live, it isn't quite as necessary.
We have really stable power here. We're very lucky.
But it doesn't mean that your freezer can't quit because it's, you know, so old or something's wrong with it
Or somebody
defective.
flicks the breaker in the basement because they're
Totally.
doing something with the Christmas lights and they Chevy Chase it. I don't know.
So that is a good point. But if you did have raw chicken in your freezer and your freezer goes, you want to quickly cook up that chicken and then you can get it back into a new freezer, not that same freezer. Or of course, if it was just because of a power outage, then yes, you can get it back into that same freezer once your power is restored. But it is safe to take that raw chicken, cook it as long as, you know, it's still at a safe temperature by the time you realize about the freezer. And then once it's cooked, it can go back into meals and go back into your freezer safely, that's a great point.
Yes. So you'll be glad to have the club then because you can just click on cook chicken. Awesome.
Okay, thank you and happy cooking.
Bye.